Welcome to Artist Spotlight. My guest today is the artist Chris Carr. Welcome, Chris.
Hello, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Well, Chris, you are a photographer, and you kind of have a unique niche.
Yes, you could say that. I like to play in puddles every day and take pictures off the reflections.
Well, that's very interesting. It creates some wonderful artwork. But let's find out how you got into this. Where did you grow up?
Grew up in North Carolina and Mississippi, and I always make the joke, if you add my accents together, it kind of sounds like a Tennessee or Georgia accent.
Okay.
Been in Orlando since '96, so been here longer than anywhere. So this is definitely home.
And did you always know you were going to be a photographer?
No, I've always just been a creative person. I used to be a musician in my younger days, and then I did a lot of web development, and just kind of picked up photography as a hobby, traveling, taking pictures everywhere. And I kind of just fell into it. I found a unique vision with the reflections, and I kind of just made it my own, and that made my whole collection of what you see today.
How do you find those reflections or create them?
In the early days, it was what puddles I found naturally, you know, Mother Nature and just timing. Lately, I bring my own bottle of water and pour puddles on the ground when I can't find them. And people think, oh, you must bring a big bucket. And like, no, it's usually just a small bottle. I shoot really close to the ground in the water, so it doesn't take very much. Usually about a silver dollar size.
So you're making puddles all over the place.
And I still use natural ones, but you know, some days I can't find them where I want them, so I like to make my own, and it gives me much better results these days.
And what are you looking for the things that will be reflected?
Usually I do a little research. I like to find things like architecture, things that are visually appealing. I really like neon signs right around dusk because they really pop. But really anything that I can find in a reflection that looks interesting, has a nice visual appeal, I'll at least attempt to shoot it. It might not turn out like I like it, but I'm going to at least try.
And do you have to have a pavement surface?
Pavement, brick, asphalt is usually the darker the subsurface, usually the better. I found that concrete is kind of the worst. The really light colored ground kind of washes out the details. Unless you're in the shade or maybe lucky to have a little mud there, you can get the reflection, but usually the darker the surface, the better the reflection.
Can you do it just on earth?
Yeah, you can do it on dirt. Sometimes if there's a lot of grass around though, you have trouble getting the puddle to stay just on the dirt. So usually the paved surfaces are a little better, unless it's really dry and the water doesn't absorb.
Well, thank you for lending us a collection of your artwork here. Is there a favorite one you have in this collection?
Yeah, there's one that looks like you're looking up at the stars in the sky, but really it's just asphalt in a parking lot. I found that asphalt has this great star-like texture. The main reason I use puddles is because the shallow water allows me to see that surface underneath. So some of them seem like two pictures in one, but really that's the magic I look for when I get out there.
Cool, that's great. Well, if people are interested in getting some of your photography, is there a website or somewhere they can go?
Yeah, go to my website, chriscarfineart.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram under Chris Carr Fine Art Photography. I'm a part of a local Orlando studio called McRae Art Studios. They can find me at as well. Usually working there most days.
All right. When you're not traveling?
When I'm not traveling, yes. I do travel quite a bit.
Yeah. How much do you travel?
In the past, it could have been up to like a third of the year I would be on the road. This last year, it was more like an eighth. I've sort of cut it back to 2 a month, maybe 1 a month, just trying to scale them back a little bit and do bigger shows, but less of them. Kind of giving more time at home to make art.
Well, thank you for joining us today. We're excited to be able to look at your puddles for the next month.
And everything in this collection is based around Orlando. I travel around a lot and I have reflections from everywhere, but this collection, I based it solely on stuff for Orlando and Central Florida, just so everybody could have things they recognize.
Again, thank you for joining us for Artist Spotlight. We'll see you around.